Overthinking feels like control, but in reality, it is what makes us feel the most out of control. We've all been there, analyzing a conversation from 3 days ago, replaying the what ifs in our heads, or obsessing over the right decision. The irony, the more we think, the harder it gets to act. Overthinking doesn't lead to clarity, it leads to stress, indecision, and exhaustion. But what if I told you that there's a way to break free from this loop? A way to train your mind to stop overthinking and start thinking clearly? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. How mindfulness can help you stop overthinking and finally find peace in your head. So, what is overthinking? Overthinking is when your mind gets stuck in a loop of thoughts. It can be about the past, like, why did I say that? Or a worry about the future, what if things go wrong? It feels productive, but it's really just mental exhaustion disguised as problem solving. Psychologists call this rumination, a thought cycle that increases stress and makes decision making harder. And modern science backs this. Studies today show that chronic thinking raises your cortisol levels, triggers anxiety, fatigue, and even physical health issues like headache or pain in the body or muscle tension. So you think you're preparing for the worst. But overthinking doesn't make you ready. It just makes you extremely restless. It drains your mental energy because thinking itself over and over again is a very exhausting process. It feeds into your anxiety. You start fearing the things that have not even happened, and that takes you away from the present moment where things are all right, where you don't have that kind of danger or a wrong decision or a particular situation that you're envisioning in your mind. Ever notice how when you overthink, you become less confident? That's because overthinking disconnects you from your sense of intuition and it keeps you trapped in that sense of self-doubt. But now you will think, why do we really overthink? What can we do? Can we really do something? Because it's so hard to stop oneself from overthinking. There are various reasons why we overthink, and one such reason is the fear of making wrong choice, because we associate mistakes with failure. But we have to remember that when we take a chance, we increase our likelihood of getting success by 50%. But when we don't take the chance, there's a 100% guarantee that we're not going to succeed because we never took the step. We also overthink because we have the need to control, and we believe that if we think long enough, we can control the outcome, which we all know. The logical part of our brain really knows that that's not how it works. Another reason is the past conditioning. We have been trained to believe that thinking more is equal to better decisions, which really is not. Because most of the time, overthinking doesn't really lead to making a decision. So, the ancient yogic philosophy says that the mind is like a monkey. It keeps jumping from one thought to another, restless and untamed. And modern neuroscience backs this up. The human brain has a default mode network that automatically drifts into self-referential thoughts. What it means is that we are wired to overthink unless and until we train our mind otherwise, differently. So, how does mindfulness help? Mindfulness is not about stopping your thoughts. It is about not getting stuck in those thoughts. Science today shows that mindfulness rewires your mind. It strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain which makes decisions. And it also reduces the activity in amygdala, which is the fear response part of your brain. So you feel less stressed, you find more clarity to make decisions, and you're also emotionally better regulative and not in a reactive state anymore. In ancient practices like Vipassana meditation, mindfulness is described as the art of watching your mind rather than being controlled by it. And the best part in all of this is that you don't have to be a monk to be able to practice it. You can practice it right here in your daily routine. So I'm going to give you 3 mindfulness practices that you can incorporate in your daily routine, and they are a total game changer. The first one is label your thoughts, also known as name it to tame it. So the next time you find yourself overthinking, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, I am overthinking about, and fill in the gap. The moment you do that, science proves that the moment you label an emotion, the moment you label a thought, you pull yourself away from it. You create some distance. And the intensity of the thought or the emotion goes down. That enables you to step away from it and break the loop of overthinking. The second one is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding method. One of my real favorites. Because overthinking happens in your mind. It keeps you in your head. And in those moments, you need to get out of the head, come into the body, come into the present moment, and come into the complete sensory experience of that moment. So in that moment of overthinking, bring your awareness to 5 things that you can see around you in that moment. And then bring your awareness to 4 things that you can touch in that particular moment. Then bring your awareness to 3 things that you can hear in that moment. 2 things that you can smell in that moment. And 1 thing that you can taste in that moment. And if you truly want to experience how this feels, I encourage you to pause the video and take a moment and just do this right now, right here. It's like a mental reset button, pulling you out of your thoughts and into reality by engaging your senses in the present moment. And the third one is micro mindfulness breaks. You don't have to sit in meditation for an hour every day to reap the benefits of mindfulness. 30 seconds of mindful breaks dispersed throughout your day can make a world of a difference. It can really pull you out of the overthinking mode. How do you do that? Take 3 deep breaths before you have to make a big decision. Take a pause, step back. When you find into stressful situations or things in which you tend to normally react. Another way is when you're having your cup of tea or coffee, instead of scrolling on the phone or looking at a screen, just take a break. Just enjoy that cup of coffee. Just immerse yourself in the experience of having that cup of tea or coffee. I want to leave you with this. Overthinking is a habit, and so is mindfulness. So the choice really is yours. Which habit are you looking to cultivate? If you want to go deeper into the practice of mindfulness and you want to begin my course, Mindful Living, Clear Your Mind, Make Better Choices, available on Udemy, it's just the place for you to start. It's a combination of ancient wisdom of yogic mindfulness meditation practices, along with science-backed practical practices that you can incorporate in your daily life. Through the course, I enable you to create a daily mindful routine that will change the way you experience all of life and definitely help you in moving past the habit of overthinking as you cultivate mindfulness. If the things that we talked about in today's video served you, like, share what are the things that you tend to overthink about. And if you practice the practices that I shared, do share how did it work out for you. Remember, you're not going to be able to stop overthinking by overthinking about it. You need to act on it. And today, this is your reminder to take that action. Share it with someone who you think overthinks and would be benefited by it. Until the next time I see you, take care of yourselves, be mindful, and remember, overthinking is a habit, but so is mindfulness. What are you choosing to cultivate makes all the difference.